Welcome, everybody, to another great episode of the Urban Paranormal Podcast, where you might be crazy to some,
But you're family to us.
Hey. As usual, I'm your host, JH.
And I'm your moderator, Trent A. Johnson.
Anchorman Dave R. reporting for duty.
Amazon Jamencia up in this building.
What up? What
Hey,
up?
hey,
What's
hey.
up, y'all? I'm back.
There you go.
Oh, yeah.
And of course, there's some people that we're missing, but here, I'm not going to go through the names. There's so many of them, but we miss
Yeah,
you guys, all
Yes.
right?
Oh, yeah.
And thank you guys for tuning in because we have a scary, I guess, in a sense, a scary story to tell people.
Yeah, very scary story.
Yeah. You want me to go ahead and start off? Or you
Yeah,
wanna
go ahead. Well, let me start off with this.
Mhm.
So I got a homeboy, Lobo.
Yeah.
Mr. Buckhalter, Clarence Buckhalter. His daughter is missing. Her name is Denisha Buckhalter. She's 24 years old, and she has a little bit more than shoulder-length hair, 135 pounds, 5'9", and she's missing.
She was last seen May 15th.
Yeah, last seen May 15th. So if y'all know her whereabouts or heard anything or have seen her, you can call 281-965-6076. Or you can call 911.
Correct.
Let's get Denisha back home safely.
Hell yeah. You
God
know,
bless her.
yeah.
God bless her and her family.
So let's paint a year because things are really creepy. So right now I have the chance to be to know the future, so to speak. So I'm gonna go to the past to tell you the future. The year is 1976. Okay.
Fine year.
Yes, exactly.
Mhm.
Super Bowl 10 just happened, and the Pittsburgh Steelers beat the Dallas Cowboys 21-17. In that same year, our president was Gerald Ford. He didn't know that in a few more months that he was going to lose to Jimmy Carter, but he did. At the same time, it was a horrible, horrible night in general in New York City. In New York City, there was two women sitting in the car, just doing what they normally did in New York, just every blue moon, just sit in the car, relax, talk to each other, whatnot.
Just chilling out, doing their thizzle.
Yeah, just having a good time.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
next thing you know, a guy just walks up, and starts shooting them.
54.54 caliber, just out of nowhere. We don't even know
Did he
why
say-
or how.
Yeah, that would be a 44.
44. I
44
was like,
caliber.
Yeah.
Yeah, he just unloaded, and he killed one of the women
Yeah.
instantly. Okay, I'd have to pull up her name, but
That would be Donna Laurie.
there you go.
Yes.
And then the next girl, which they were sitting in her car, she was hit and struck in the thigh.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
Just imagine that, man.
I
Just-
know. The thing was, she got to see the guy run away and everything, and she was, oh my God, just to know that you're in the car with your friend,
Yeah.
and y'all just having a conversation, and before you know it, boom, the head's blown off. You're like,
Wow.
what the fuck?
Yeah, that is
That is
totally
scary.
totally terrifying.
Right? How do you get over something like
Just
that?
sitting there minding your
It
business.
takes time to just, get to retrieve from that shock.
Yeah.
Right. So I mean, my thing is like, man, we just in the car, just chilling, and just out of nowhere, this type of shit happens.
Yeah.
I don't know how you can go on. Like, even though you're gonna tell what happened, how do you
Cope with
how-
that.
Yeah. How do you cope with it? How do you
Mhm.
become normal again? You just lost your best friend.
Well, I think it's a process, just like everything else.
Mhm.
Takes time. You know what
Yeah.
I'm saying?
Yeah.
Therapy.
Sure does.
I could just imagine being scarred like that, just sitting with my friend in the car talking, Then all of a sudden you got glass exploding everywhere, and you feeling pain, you feeling blood trickling down your face, and you don't know why.
Exactly.
Just shock all of a sudden.
Right.
Mhm.
And the worst part about it all, this guy who was diagnosed with, I think what it's called is, I'm just reading it out here, paranoid schizophrenic. He found the perfect opportunity to use the element of surprise to, shock these victims while he did a perfect kill.
Oh wow.
Well, it's not schizophrenic or how you
Paranoid schizophrenic. I mean, if we want
schizophrenic.
if it's wrong, I would like
yeah,
to.
it's schizophrenic.
Yeah.
But the thing is that when he did it,
Same thing. But
well, yeah,
Okay, it's in the category. Let's agree.
yeah,
Yeah.
yes, we
Yeah.
agree. The thing is, they were kids. They were 18 and 19 years old.
Yeah.
Wow.
yeah, it seemed he targeted whatever was going on. This guy was targeting young lovers and women of a certain that looked a certain way.
Right.
Wow.
I think so. It was like ranging from 17 all the way to 22 to the best of my memory.
Yeah.
I think it was 23.
23? Thank
Yeah,
you for
I think it
correcting
was
me,
23.
Dementia.
Well, the thing is that no one knew.
Nah.
No one knew. They just thought, oh my God, just some lunatics on the fucking warpath,
Yeah.
you know?
Mhm.
But it wasn't until October, a couple months later, on the 23rd. Actually, it was 8 miles away, from the Queenboroughs. There is Carl De Niro, which is, in the car with his date, parked and whatnot. And this guy just came up directly behind him, same MO,
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
shooting them.
Yeah. I think I seen an interview with him,
Mhm.
and he said he woke up in the hospital, and the cops were talking to him, and he was like, well, as long as I get home before my mom finds out, everything will be okay. And he was like, dude, you shot in the fucking head.
Yeah, he didn't know
He
he was
didn't know
shot,
he was
in,
shot
the
in the
head.
head.
Wow.
I think he died moments later.
No, he did
No,
not
he
die.
He didn't? Oh, okay, then.
No, he did not die.
All right, no. He
Yeah.
survived, thank God.
Yeah, he did. In his own words, he said, the next thing he know, there was glass all over. He felt like the car exploded,
My goodness.
and then, of course, like Trent said, he then later on found out that he was shot.
Shot in the head.
Wow.
I mean, now think about that. You with your girl. bro.
Yeah.
And,
Was this girl hurt?
She died.
yeah, she didn't make it.
Yeah.
Oh man, that sucks.
Yeah, she didn't make it. You with your girl, you had lookout point is what they would like call it back in the day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know what I'm
Right.
saying? You had look for you young people. That's where you would go to. You would drive, take your little hottie there. You would
Yeah.
go to, and you would
Yeah.
cop a feel and make out. And if you were really a bad motherfucker, you could fuck. But normally, you just made it, a couple bases.
First base.
Yeah.
All the way to
First
second
base?
base, let's say.
The
Wow.
third base.
All right, let's do third base.
Yeah. Well,
Wow.
third base didn't come along to the 80s.
Oh, okay, yeah.
You know what I'm
You
saying?
say so?
Yeah. Third base. The group third base came along in the 80s.
Okay.
So.
Oh, yeah.
But the thing is that you just hanging out, man, just trying to get cop a feel, and God damn it, you know what I mean? He blew that man's chance away of copping a feel.
Yeah, and then
Yeah.
I mean they could have actually really been in love. You know what I'm saying? And,
It could have been the start of a lot of shit.
yeah.
But according to this this person, he decided to change history.
wow.
He changed that person's history by just
Yeah.
taking her away.
I know, right? And I imagine that would create a panic
It did.
in the Bronx. What is happening in the Bronx and
Yes,
Queens, right?
Yes.
mostly.
It did.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Mostly.
I imagine everybody was terrified.
Yeah.
Well, in the Bronx and Queens, it is a very low-income area, and he can definitely take advantage of the urban geographical area because there's a lot of alleyways he could just disappear to, and there's not much lights.
Yeah,
Well,
and
That
then
is true.
I think because I've seen it's probably a bad urban area now.
It is.
Yeah, I was going to say
Really
that.
bad.
I was going
Yeah,
to say that
but
because
I've
in the
been there.
70s, no,
No, back then it wasn't.
it was not.
Well,
wasn't
I
a-
know Queens is a little bit rough, but when I went there to New York with my family,
Mhm.
it's really rough now.
Yeah.
Literally, it's drug infested, crime infested. Yes, the property value has increased up, but then people are just desperately like eating each other like dog eats dog.
Wow.
Okay, well, again, too, I've also stayed in Queens. In the 70s at that time, though, it was white.
Oh, really?
Yes, that's why there's no black people on this kill chart.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
That makes
Cool.
sense.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm sorry for
And
my
then
ignorance,
just to
but
say it was white doesn't mean.
Yeah, yeah. It doesn't mean it just means they weren't our color. It was multiple races, but they weren't like they are today. Let's say like that.
Yeah.
But the thing was, women were doing all sorts of things at this point because they start saying, "Hey, wait a minute, there's somebody out there just fucking shooting people, minding their own fucking business."
Yeah, and they started to notice that all the women that were targeted had shoulder length brunette hair.
Wow.
some
All of them.
some they said with this killer, he was trying to look for a certain girl that he wanted to get his revenge out of, theoretically speaking. But I guess he's just taking out of the women that looked like this woman that I guess he was trying to kill.
Right? Or I think probably somebody hurt him in the past.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
totally.
And he was putting that hurt back on women that reminded him
That could be.
Yeah.
that could
Yeah.
be
of the
okay.
woman that hurt him. That's what I get from it.
No, that's. I mean,
I get that too.
a lot of serial rapists started out like that too.
Exactly.
right.
You got
The
that
person
right.
the person that hurt them is who they're.
I mean, because I ain't gonna lie, I don't fuck with bitches that look like my baby mama.
They, woo.
Okay.
I'm just telling the truth.
Yeah, yeah.
No. I respect that, Trey.
Yeah,
Seriously, I
yeah,
do.
yeah.
And, you know, it's very admirable that you do respect to that degree, too. I admire that.
Yeah, I don't think that's respect.
Right.
All right, maybe common sense. Let's
Right.
There
let's
you
say
go.
for another word.
There you go.
Yeah,
Common sense.
totally.
But you know, New York was really everyone was really scared because they felt like anybody at this point was a victim.
Yeah.
Anybody could be a victim because the fact that there was originally two women and then there was a man and a woman. So now it done changed everything a bit from this being a female targeted situation. So
Well,
even
I
males.
think the target was always the woman, though.
I think so.
It
too.
was.
Because
Yeah.
if you look at the cases and the shootings, a lot of the times the men survived.
Yeah.
And
He
it's
did.
more
And
women
he,
that's
he
dead.
made sure that the woman was dead.
Wow.
But in the first shooting, he shot a girl in the leg.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I think to me, I get what you're saying, and I'm not going to disagree. But I want to say that I think it was opportunity.
Yes.
He was an opportunist shooter,
Yeah.
right? And he shot because come on, I mean, ain't no way I'm gonna shoot somebody in the head with a 44 and think maybe he'll live. No, you know what I'm saying?
But when you empty the clip and the woman gets most of the clip, that shows that you were trying to kill the woman.
yeah, but it was a revolver.
Well,
but yeah, I get what you're saying. though.
When the woman get most of the bullets, you know what I'm saying?
right.
Well, he did had a security guard background, so it would definitely lead theoretically evidence that he was a good shot at doing headshots to the women that he wanted to kill.
I think
Now,
he
as
was
far-
actually in the army too.
I
He
think
was in
so
the-
Yeah,
too.
I think
yes.
he was.
Thank
Yeah.
you for bringing that up too.
But-
I was going to bring that, but yes,
But
Jake.
you're giving an analysis on a guy because you already know who did it. But the thing is that in New York they had no idea.
Yeah.
Yeah, of course. I mean, their fornistics was outdated at the time, but go on.
But more, I'm just saying. So I'm trying to give the people for them to feel the same way. You know, like those New Yorkers felt. They didn't know anything. They didn't know who did it. They didn't know all people were doing was theorizing. Hey, this man wants to kill women,
Yeah.
and now he done shot a man.
Yeah, when women with shoulder length brunette
Blew the
hair.
hair.
Wow.
So women start to dye their hair blonde.
Right.
Yeah.
They start to cut their hair all the way bald damn near.
Yeah.
Wow.
You know what I'm saying?
Short hair.
Just so they wouldn't fit the MO of the target.
And they were
Yeah.
they were
Wow.
actually on the news saying how afraid they were.
Yeah.
Like they were afraid. So all the women would do which they should have done in the first place, but they would
Exactly.
do everything they could do to get everything finished that they needed to get finished
Before the dark.
before the dark hit.
Oh wow.
You know, and that's where your ass should have been in the first place, at home, in home.
Right.
You know,
right.
but I mean, you know, you do what you do,
Yeah.
and it was
Yeah.
it's messed up that it happened, but.
I guess that's why in the 80s and 90s, women started carrying self-defense items more frequently.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And taking like self-defense classes. I know they've been
Yeah.
doing that down there.
Yeah, and then
Totally.
and then, you know, I was looking at the police chief. He was saying that everybody bought a gun during
Wow.
that time.
Yeah.
Everybody wanted to protect themselves
And protect
and
their
protect
woman.
their family because it was like you didn't know who was next.
Correct.
Right.
You didn't know where it was coming from,
Right.
Correct.
Exactly.
when it was coming,
Mm-hmm.
and from who.
Right.
Yeah.
That is
Mhm.
totally scary, man. You just got this killer just targeting young women.
Mm-hmm.
And
Wow.
that's scary because I'm a young woman myself, and I'd be really terrified.
I know,
Right. Well, here's the thing. Oh, just a month later, just
Go
one
ahead.
month later, in November 27th, again in Queens, right?
Yeah.
These two little girls, they're basically sitting on the front porch,
Okay.
and this man walks up and asks them for directions, you know, and he then pull out his gun and he just begins shooting the little girls.
Wow.
Now, this is not grown women. This is little young girls.
Sick fucker, man.
I know.
He is.
Hell yes.
Now, thankfully, those two little girls didn't die.
Yeah.
They
Mm.
recovered from their injuries. Okay, but the thing is too that we've also the first shooting, the girl gave a description. The second shooting, the man gave the best that he could give, but he didn't know because he didn't see. But these girls gave a description, and it didn't match the first description.
Yeah.
Now, how is that possible?
Well, I mean, when
You're
like when
afraid.
shit happens, you're afraid people see things different.
Differently.
You know what I'm saying? I
Mhm.
know you've heard, like, if you come on the scene and you interview everybody gonna have a slightly different story.
Right, like someone runs in here, robs us, and runs out, and we're like, "What the fuck was he wearing?" He was wearing a red T-shirt, and you're like, "No, it was blue," because we all at that moment,
Right. Right.
I guess that would make sense to why, people saw different things.
Yeah, you got adrenaline flowing. You fucking scared as hell.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So there you have it.
I mean, that's, ugh. But just think, man, you just at home and at the house drinking a beer, watching a game on TV, and then you hear these gunshots, and you run outside and it's your daughter and her friend or whatnot.
Man.
For no reason. It wasn't like they was doing anything wrong.
Yeah.
You know,
We have to track that motherfucker down, bro.
I am
Big
certain.
time.
I am certain that in New York there was a so-called
People,
lynch
yeah,
mob. Yeah,
yeah.
waiting to get his ass.
Whoever this
whoever it was. Yeah,
this creep was, yeah.
right.
And then this is when they started to, because they didn't connect everything at first.
Right.
It was a while before they figured out they had a
Mhm.
serial killer.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? And the only way they were able to find that out is when they matched this 44 caliber bullet
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
was used in every case.
Right.
And they was like, hold on, this is the same fucking gun.
Wow.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. And 2 months after that, in January,
Yeah.
Christine Fruand was sitting with her fiance in the car, parked at a train station in Queens. When this man walks up and basically, what do you call it? Ambushed?
Yes.
Yes.
Ambushed him. 3 shots hit her from behind, which killed her. I mean, goddamn. Again, a lover situation.
Yeah, she was sitting with her boyfriend, John Deal. How do you say it? John Deal?
Don
Y-
Dale. That is
yeah.
correct.
Yeah,
Mhm.
wow. They're sitting in the car and he bust shots and the guy panics and drives off and he suffered minor injuries. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm. Which now that gives what you're saying. He really focused on the girl.
On the girl, yeah.
Yeah,
she
he
was
really-
she was shot twice and died,
Mhm.
and he was able to speed off and get away.
That is-
Wow.
But just man, I don't know why I keep putting myself when you tell me these stories, Jay.
Mhm.
I just put myself in that situation and see myself speeding off after these fucking gunshots.
right,
and
right.
shit.
I know.
Gunshots from fucking nowhere.
Oh yeah.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
And you know what's
Wow.
the messed up part? I mean, at the time, the police said they were looking for multiple suspects, but you got to also remember the forensics, wasn't all that, intertwined and up to date for them to kind of link it is the same guy that they should be catching.
It took time.
Yeah,
It
and-
did.
And then with that shooting, Jay, the police said they were similar, but I don't think they're connected.
Mm-hmm.
You know, what
They
I'm
were
saying?
still being
It's-
hard headed.
Yeah, it's
It,
still
it,
being
I mean, it was
hard-headed.
kind of funny though because it was like from 1976 all the way till 1978. I could be wrong within the time frame of the killing spree with this killer here, but it's just like if it's happening continuously, wouldn't common sense to these cops would just kind of wake up in their head and say, "Hey, these killings may be linked."
Well, to me, it seems like
That's just
the
my opinion.
It seems like that's the last thing they want to do, and I don't know why that is.
Yeah.
Well, the reason why they don't. Okay, you know you're coming off a situation that becomes really important of
Mhm.
about fear. When you had a person like Ted Bundy and
Right.
all these different serial killers starting to emerge, you do not want the public to panic
Okay.
and freak out. Okay, you don't, because you don't want them to think that this shit is about to happen again. And even the idea of them going to buy guns becomes
Yeah.
really frightening, because now people can start shooting people because they're afraid. We've seen that happen.
But
Yeah.
what would be
Absolutely.
more scary, Jay? One person doing this or multiple people? To me, the idea of multiple people
Multiple people be
Multiple
more
would be
people
more
would be
scary. Yeah.
real- yeah.
Wow.
You know, well, you know, with just when this took place, right? Just a block away,
Right.
1 month later in March, another woman was basically walking home from college, and he walked up on her and shot her in the face.
Yeah.
Oh my
Clean
goodness.
kill.
Didn't she
Right.
lift her books? That's the one she lift her books in front of the gun.
Yes, she did.
Okay,
Yeah.
And the bullet went through her
Her books.
Her books.
and
Yeah.
her gun, but I think it slowed the bullet down enough.
but it still killed her
It
instantly.
still killed her, but
Yeah.
it slowed the bullet down enough to where the bullet stayed in her, and that's where they were able to get this 44
yes,
caliber bullet.
Yes, you're right. You're right.
You
you're
know
right.
what I'm saying?
Mhm.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because the bullet is like
Right.
a hot, knife, just cleaning through as soon as you have something to slow the speed trajectory.
Just like
Wow.
iron, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Right. So in April, right? A few months later, in
Okay.
April, right?
Mm-hmm.
He struck again, but this time he was in the Bronx.
Ooh.
Okay.
Right. So he did. He struck. He shot. You know, and that's cool. But that was and I repeat, the very first time that he introduced himself. He left a note at the scene of the crime, and the note opened up by saying,
Son of Sam.
"No, it says I am the son of Sam."
Wow.
Thank you for correcting.
Yeah, that's what it said. Now you understand, Trent. You know, all these shootings have taken place.
Yeah.
It's all over the news. Everybody is freaking the fuck out, you know? And what they've been waiting for was word of
Yeah.
anything.
Yeah. What was going on?
Yeah.
And then before you go a little bit further,
Mhm.
that was another case of a couple together.
Okay.
Yeah.
Go ahead. Spit it out.
No, I'm just saying, you
oh.
know, that last shooting, it was a 20-year-old tow truck driver, Alexander Esau, and 18-year-old Valentina Suriani.
this is
yeah.
two males.
No, Valentina?
Valentina Suriani is a woman,
Oh, okay.
and the
Is it-
boyfriend is Alexander Isu.
Yeah.
20.
Yeah.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And did they die? I mean, there was a lot of attacks,
No,
but I didn't know.
Again,
Alexander did
again, only
die.
the woman died.
Only
The woman died. Yeah.
Yeah, Alexander did die in the scene, but yeah, the woman. You were right, Trent. Suriani died later in the hospital.
Yeah, and Esau, the guy,
Mm.
survived, and he was able to provide another description.
which differed from the other ones.
Yeah, I've seen all the little
Artist
composites. So
Okay.
they all
Okay.
look different,
Different.
but similar. You
Mhm.
know what I'm saying?
All right.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
So they were like see things this way, and then someone else, when the victim, they see this.
Well,
way,
I think
like
it's
that.
according to the artist. It's
Right.
according to the
Okay.
description. You know
On
what
how
I'm
you
saying?
relay
Right.
information.
Yeah, they look
Okay.
similar. All of those guys. I think I've seen 3 different composites,
Right.
and like I said, they were different but similar.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Gotcha.
So they
Basically,
each-
what I'm
Mhm.
saying. Okay,
ahead.
if you look at these, either one of these could be that guy.
Right. Right.
Mm.
The way they did things in the 70s, any fucking way, I don't know how they can match anybody fucking up with a fucking drawing.
I know, right?
I mean, that drawing was so general, it could be any fucking body. So
Right.
Exactly.
I don't know how the fuck they matched that shit up. But
Yeah, well,
you
it
know.
definitely was a Jewish white guy. That narrowed down about not much of the
Yeah, yeah.
population.
Yeah,
you know what
yeah,
I'm
yeah,
saying?
yeah. 1% of the
Yeah,
population.
right,
I
for
mean, what
real.
the fuck?
Yeah.
That's like trying to find out who baby that is. Type of shit.
Exactly.
Exactly. So, the thing is, guys, you have to know, man, that New York was terrified. They really were. Women were terrified, even men, at this point, because they was worried about the welfare of their daughters, children, and wives.
And mothers.
Yeah, and mothers, exactly.
Yeah.
That's a scary thing. I mean, I would do the same. I would be the same way. It wouldn't be like, oh, if I can go back and change something. It would be the same thing. I'd be with my gun, you know what I'm saying, and my kids. You're not going outside. Stay your ass right here next to
For
me.
real, right?
I'm gonna take you to school. I'm gonna bring you back. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying? That's it. And no one's going out at night. No snacks. No, I don't give a damn if you're high. You need this. None of that shit. You're not going nowhere.
The son of Sam.
Yeah.
That's this guy.
Yeah.
Wow.
Apparently
That's who
so.
it is.
That's what the
Exactly.
letter was signed.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Like they just said, he left the letter. I
Yeah.
am the son of Sam.
Yeah.
Who the fuck
Creepy.
is Sam? The devil.
Maybe
Ooh.
maybe it would be short for Samuel, that goat stag demon.
Possibly.
Theoretically.
Wow.
But Jay, you
Because
can debunk
I
it.
didn't know that Sam was another
Devil
handle-
name.
Yeah, name for the devil.
Right.
Yeah.
I did not know that either.
It was in a book.
yeah.
It was in a book. I didn't know. I did not.
I didn't know that. I didn't
Right.
know that.
I did not know that either. It came from a book.
Yeah.
I mean, so you guys at home, you understand the situation. You hear some of the murders. It was a lot more shootings and attacks than this. But we're just giving you some that you can, look up, and this is all out of respect. This is not making fun of anybody.
Yeah, and this all
Right.
happened over a summer, right?
Well, not yet. It's getting ready to be the summer.
Okay.
Oh,
But,
okay.
but yeah, the
Okay.
summer's getting ready to hit now.
Wow.
You hear what I'm saying? The summer is getting ready to hit.
Shit about to get hot.
Yeah, it's gonna
Wow.
get real.
And steamy.
Yeah. So
Oh boy.
now on that note, right? What we'll do is, right? We're gonna get back into that and what's the fuck is going on with this situation,
Yeah.
Yeah.
right? After we take a break. So what I like you to do is to like, subscribe, and share.
Yes.
Okay, remember, this is the Son of Sam, right? Into the mind of some crazy shit. Okay, when we return.
Hey.
You know, and we are discussing the son of Sam.
Yeah.
Okay. So it's kind of amazing, you know, all of these shootings, and the police discovered that all of these shootings had a couple of things in common, but the most important thing, right, was the bullet that was lodged in this woman's head. You know, they got that bullet, right, and they started, checking it out.
Mhm. So, carrying on from there, the police they got the bullet sample, and then they were able to trace it to the registered gun owner, and it leads them to the apartment up in Bronx, where they caught him in the nick of time. And it turns out that the main killer is David Borokovitz, who has been carrying a .44 caliber, and they caught him at his apartment in Bronx. Now, details to say and so forth. New York police nabbed him on August 10th, 1977, and Time magazine later said that he'd been planning to go to Hampton's nightclub with a semi-automatic rifle to go down in a blaze of glory.
Oh wow.
So see, like you said, it just in a nick of damn time.
So
Wow.
I got a question.
Yes.
Mhm.
How did he turn from the 44 caliber killer to the son of Sam? How did he come to be known as the son of Sam?
Ooh.
Good question.
That's a good question, but here it is, man. He became the son of Sam because he named himself that.
Okay.
With
when-
the letter, right?
When he dropped the letter, and no
Uh-huh.
one quite understood what the letters were.
Oh
they
wow.
the cops actually like marked it off as the ramblings of some sort of madman based off the
Yeah.
fear that was being opposed on the city at the time. Okay, but and I say but there was other letters,
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah.
and it's so weird because some of the things that he was saying in there, inside the letter, it was using words like he was commanded to do these things.
So from what I understand, the whole time this murder spree was going on, he was sending all kind of letters taunting the police and shit.
Yep.
Almost like he was kind of wanted to be caught, or
Yeah.
like
Well,
most serial killers.
Yeah. That's
There
how they
were-
all did it.
By the way, the bullet was not the only one that led Berkovitz's arrest. Berkowitz used his own property registered 1974 Galaxy sedan as his getaway, but he didn't bother to, steal license plate to, go for his cover his tracks. Plus, later on, the parking tickets that he had, that's where it traced it to his house that later speeded up his arrest.
So this dummy used his own car.
Yeah.
And his own registered pistol.
Right.
Yes.
Wow.
And
Wow.
and his letter, within his letter, kept giving references
Uh-huh.
back to Queens, to where the original shootings were,
Oh, yeah.
which was originally by him.
Wow.
So
Uh-huh.
everything kind of led back to him based off his own writings and
That's
what he
crazy.
did.
Oh, yeah.
In the car, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Mhm.
That is so crazy. If I would not use my
Well,
car.
I actually got one of his letters right here.
Oh, well,
Go
please
ahead.
read it.
I'm
Please.
going to
Yes.
read a little bit from his letter. It says, I am deeply hurt by you calling me a woman hater. And the way he spells woman is WEMON,
He switched the vowels.
like a play on demon. You know what I'm saying?
Right, right.
Mhm.
So he says, I'm deeply hurt by you calling me a woman hater. I am not, but I am a monster. I am the son of Sam. I am a little brat. When Father Sam gets drunk, he gets mean. He beats his family. Sometimes he ties me up to the back of the house. Other times he locks me in the garage. Sam loves to drink blood. Go out and kill, commands Father Sam. Behind our house, some rest, mostly young, raped, and slaughtered. Their blood drained, just bones now. Papa Sam keeps me locked in the attic too. I can't get out, but I look out the attic window and watch the world go by. I feel like an outsider. I am on a different wavelength than everybody else. Programmed to kill.
Wow.
That's part of his letter.
That's part of it. Now,
Sick motherfucker.
you guys at home, now look, man. So you already know how the story is, right? And all these the people theorize about different things, but I'm a writer, and just in the way that he wrote things, the first person was one person who wrote it, but then he said he keeps me locked in the attic. What is it? He keeps me locked in the attic too.
Yeah.
That's another person. That's not the same person. And this man was not diagnosed with multiple personalities.
Well, I don't think he was crazy.
No, no, I don't think so either.
Yeah.
And see, I think that the letter within itself is a very telling situation that actually is in his favor. But no one in America or the world wanted to hear it because they were afraid.
So
They were. He did call himself the chubby behemoth or the Beelzebub.
yeah, Beelzebub. Well,
Yeah,
Yeah, Beelzebub.
Beelzebub.
Trying to enunciate it correctly, fans.
yeah.
Yeah. So with these letters, you have to understand it's very weird because you see the writings. If you see the writings, you can basically see that the person who basically wrote this didn't have that good of an education
Right.
and did not know how to present themselves in words, right? They didn't know how to the way it looked. But see, here's the thing. The funny part, the moment the man was caught and you spoke to him, this was not a man with no education. This man knew how to speak perfectly well. I mean, so the way this man spoke and the letters are two entirely different entities. Now, I'm not saying that this man is not the son of Sam killer. I am not saying that at all. I'm saying that you have to be, it's kind of stupid to sit in to not notice when you're sitting in the room with this man, he sounds very, very educated and very well spoken.
Mm-hmm.
But
Yes.
then his writing is like a fucking 2-year-old.
Well, I mean, I kind of see it that way a little bit, but everybody's not writing to be a writer.
That's true.
You know what I'm saying? This is just a quick note. Maybe he's trying to be misleading.
Maybe.
You know what I'm
maybe,
saying?
Maybe he's trying to lead
And then
someone.
and then I seen his interviews. He didn't seem like of above average intelligence to me.
Well,
he seemed like a regular human. You know what I'm saying?
They gave him above average intelligence. That's
I
what
didn't see that because I seen the interviews. He didn't say anything that made me think he had above average intelligence.
Perhaps
Well.
he was street smart and he knew how to conjure and engineer his plan to make perfect murders and to mislead people about his trace
that
whatsoever.
very well
Maybe.
could be.
I'm just saying as a theory. I'm not saying
Yeah.
it's a fact.
Could be. Could
Well,
be.
let's
I
go.
am also looking at the letter too, and the letter almost seems like he's writing it into poetry. So he's in a way trying to, be illiterate on purpose to mislead.
Yeah.
Who knows?
And let me read a little bit more. And it says, however, to stop me, you must kill me. Attention, all police. Shoot me first, shoot to kill, or else keep out of my way, or you will die. Papa Sam is old now. He needs some blood to preserve his youth. He has had too many heart attacks. Too many heart attacks. Ugh. Me. Hoot, it hurts, sonny boy. I don't know what the fuck that means. I miss my pretty princess. Most of all, she's resting in Our Lady's house. But I'll see her soon?
Yes.
I am the monster, Beelzebub, the chubby behemoth. Wow.
Wow. That's chilling.
Oh my gosh, there's more.
Yeah, there's
Yeah.
a lot. I'm not going to read that
This
part.
this
yet,
guy
but-
really got deep into his bad side.
Yeah, and then I see what you're saying. How he wrote it like in the form of poetry.
A poem.
Yeah,
Because he writes it like a short story, and
Yeah.
he's just doing it like to sell his fear to the public, like.
Yeah,
And that's why it supports my statement based on the research that he can fall into the path of a schizophrenic.
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And this guy was a self-proclaimed Satanist.
I think so.
Wow.
Yeah, there's no
I think we're
thinking
pretty
to it.
close.
Mm-hmm.
because he actually I watched the interview with him. He said he said he was just a normal guy. He got hooked up with this cult,
Right.
and he said he opened himself up to demonic possession through
Mm-hmm.
playing around with incantations
Mm-hmm.
and what's the other one? Rituals.
Yes.
Yeah.
Playing around with incantations and rituals opened him up to a demonic possession, and he believes he was demonically possessed
Wow.
when he
Okay.
did this.
Okay. So in his interview that he gave on
Yeah.
TV in '91, I think it was.
99. Well, I think they did one in 91 and one in 99.
Okay.
I seen the one in 99.
Okay. In '91, he basically said that he got with this cult.
Yeah.
Okay. And he saw them do rituals. They killed German shepherds and whatnot.
Mm-hmm.
And then they welcomed him into the fold. Okay. Now, in welcoming him to the fold, it's like a jump in if you're in a gang or whatnot. They had to do something, right? So when they welcomed him to the fold, what happened is he had to give up the pictures of his family,
Wow.
and they said to him, "Now we're your family."
Wow.
Yeah. So if you ever betray us,
We gonna fuck your family
we'll
up.
fuck your family up.
Wow.
Wow.
Just with the pictures. They can do that with the pictures.
Well, they know
Well,
where
they
he
know
lives.
who they
Yeah.
are.
Yeah, they know where they are. They know where he lives.
Yeah.
Wow.
You know. So, I mean, you got to think about it. I mean, so is Berkowitz trying to make a create an alibi out, or is this truly what's really happened? I wonder. You know.
I think he probably know he's not getting out. No
Right.
possible way to wiggle your way out of this one. So I don't see why he would,
Okay.
try
I
to
think
make an
he's-
alibi.
I think based on the writing, he's emotionally expressing his frustrations, but he's kind of like making a sworn, I'm going to go down in history note, like, okay, there's no turning back if I do this, so I might as well be the killer.
Or maybe he's ashamed of what he did.
Oh,
in
no.
some
That
way.
could be.
Okay,
That
you
could
got a
be
point.
ashamed.
But
He
but
could
let
be
me
ashamed.
but let me go back to what you said way earlier, Trent.
Uh-huh.
All right. When we gave this scenario, we don't know with the future. We don't know anything. We're just looking at the shootings.
Yeah.
You made the statement that just based off of that, you could tell he don't like women.
Yeah.
You could tell that he was upset with women in some shape, form, or fashion.
Yeah.
So
Especially brunette women with shoulder length hair.
with shoulder length
Mhm.
hair. So that
Yeah.
means that there was a bit of aggravation there. Okay, so he's referring in the letter. He also says, "I hate that you guys say I hate women." You
Yeah.
know, because I don't. So
but
now,
but then you got to look on the play on words that he used. Women. He
right?
spelled it women like demon and
Right.
women.
Mm-hmm.
So, but in doing his interview, he basically stated in saying that by saying, "Hey, I was commanded to do these things. If I didn't do these things, my family would be killed."
Yeah.
So, to me, one contradicts the other because based off the shootings and killings, just what you said, just off the top, he didn't like women.
Yeah.
And that's the route that he went. But then he turns around in the interview and basically says, "Hey, look here, guys. Hey, I'm sorry that shit happened. I hate to have to kill, but I was commanded to do so."
Yeah.
But you targeted a certain type of women.
And then he made the lines blurry
Mm-hmm.
when he said he was commanded
Mm-hmm.
to where you don't know if he's talking about an entity or a human.
Right.
One thing
Wow.
for sure is he does show signs, and I'm no certified psychiatrist, but he does show signs of schizophrenia mixed with bipolar because of his, mood things and so forth, and that kind of supports his contradictive writings and his statements.
Okay. Okay. So we've analyzed the situation here, and we think to ourselves at this point that the man might be retarded, right? He is fucking possessed
I
at
don't
this
think
point.
he's retarded.
I mean,
He's very intelligent.
Well, forgive me. I'm not using retarded as a mental
Diagnosis.
Right. I'm
Okay.
using it as he's crazy as shit at this point.
Right.
You know, and so we have that. He's crazy. He obviously don't like women, right? And he then says that he's part of a cult that made him do these things. Now, I don't know about you guys. It looks pretty cut and dry that the man that went through shooting the same type of women, basically.
Yeah, well, originally you got to look at originally he said his dog told him to do all the killing.
See?
Oh, yeah.
So the story gets even worse. You see how it changes? How
Yeah.
can you ever
Wow.
believe anything this man says?
Kind of similar to the Roman emperor who was crazy, and he would pay attention to his donkey who commands him to do things.
But I can
Wow.
kind of understand about, the family thing, if he don't do it, he don't commit these murders, his family could die.
Yeah,
I can kind of
I mean,
understand
we
that.
can
Yeah.
understand being held hostage to do
Yeah.
something
Yeah.
yeah,
if that was the case.
yeah.
That's my only thing.
Mhm.
If that statement was remotely true, it doesn't sound true to me.
On top of that, we're dealing with the fact that he possibly could be having to deal with, quote, if he's trying to save his family, maybe he's dealing with a deity like the devil, but we don't know for sure.
Yeah.
Right.
I mean, because originally he said that it was his neighbor sending these messages through his dog,
Right.
his German Shepherd
Right.
dog.
Oh,
Right.
Wow.
Right.
Yeah.
And we're not going to spoil it. We'll tell you who the neighbor is, which is very important to this story.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But you guys got to understand, for me, just based off, I'm not basing it anything off of what I know in the end or anything like that. I'm basing it based
Uh-huh.
off of a note that Trent was so graciously, read to us,
Yeah.
And I'm basing it off the victims and the shootings, okay? And then I'm basing it off of the man's appearance. Now, what do you mean, Jay? This is what I mean by his appearance. Once they arrested him, if you watch it and if you guys at home remember,
He was
He-
smiling.
he was smiling. He wasn't phased.
Yeah.
All right. He was not phased. The people came, the lynch mobs and everything, cussing him out. The man was smiling. All right. I mean, that's what I'm saying. If you
That was the devil
Right.
inside of him smiling, probably.
it
Most
very-
Got
likely.
that right.
could have very well been,
Yeah.
but I'm just saying that smile does not really, give me what I want. I want to know, did you do this or did you not? Well, clearly the smile says, hell yeah, I did it. And I'm proud of what I did.
Yeah.
But
well,
in the letter, he says he doesn't want to kill. He's not happy about that.
well,
Maybe
they
he
say,
had mixed emotions.
They say the devil is the great
Yeah.
deceiver, so
Or the devil is a great motivator to push them into sin.
Yeah.
never heard that one, but
Well, think about it. If you're driven by emotions, you're now thinking irrationally. The devil knows that the human mind is a very complex being that goes more on to now the fallacy and the security thing. So what
Basically,
happens?
You could be manipulated.
Exactly.
To do
Thank you,
wrong.
Jay. That's
Yeah.
exactly what I
Okay.
was going to go in.
Yes,
it
I
too.
know what you was trying to say.
Yeah.
Yes.
So-
And then totally different,
Right.
it's kind of the same way. Same thing like the Night Stalker. It's just basically the same way.
well, yeah.
Same thing.
Yeah, I mean that's kind of what it is. Go what you were saying, Trent.
Okay, so like I said, he said his dog told him to kill at first,
Crazy.
but then
Black
he
retriever.
recanted that shit. He was like,
Okay.
the dog thing was all a hoax. He said he was part of a violent cult that led him to do these crimes.
Okay.
Wow.
Yeah.
So let's discuss that here. Let's discuss that right
All
here.
right.
Let's just talk about that. So remember, I'm pointing out the situation. I think he's full of shit, right? But
Uh-huh.
now I'm going to turn it to this way.
Okay.
What if all of the shit was to make you think he was full of shit to save his own life and family?
Mm-hmm.
It could everything he could have said had actually been real, except for the fluff he put on top originally.
I mean,
I can
anything,
kind of see why
all
you're
of that
saying
shit
that.
is possible. You know
Mhm.
what
Right.
I'm saying?
It is.
Because he could have truly been afraid
Yeah.
that his family was going to be injured. And with that being said, like I was telling you earlier, I didn't know. I found out today. I watched one of his videos when they was talking, and I don't know what it was for, but this happened. He did make the statement that he can't talk anymore about. He couldn't say the name.
Well, the thing about his family, I don't know what family because he was adopted.
right.
You know what I'm saying? And he had right before the killing started, I think he reached out to find his real mother,
Mhm.
and he was able to find her, and he was like they had an okay relationship. So I don't know what.
Oh no, his dad, the dad who adopted him. There's the pictures with him, and that's what he gave him.
Okay, well,
Yeah, it's the dad the guy who adopted him.
okay, so I guess maybe that's
Well, yeah,
what picture they had. You
yeah.
know what I'm saying?
That's his own words. They even showed the picture, in the interview. But
Yeah.
the thing is what I'm saying is that it's like maybe he was telling all this bullshit at first because he was trying to protect his family. And the reason he's smiling because he can't look like, oh man, it was oh man, I didn't mean to do this. He didn't want to look that way because maybe you think like this here, you're the cartel or a crime boss or whatever
Mhm.
case, and this person goes to jail for you. You want to see if this person can hold water, basically mean not talk.
Right.
If this person is over there crying and looking crazy, I didn't mean, and all of that shit, you're definitely going to send a hitman out there to kill him in the middle of the night.
Yeah, well, the thing about being able to control things like that,
Hmm.
I think like sometimes shit can surface on their own.
Like, what do you mean?
I mean, like you could not even be thinking about smiling, and it'll happen involuntarily.
Oh yeah. Okay.
You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
Like
Okay.
this is the true you coming out without you even trying
To put it out
to put it out there. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
I know you done been somewhere and it been a fucking joke that you shouldn't have laughed at,
Right.
but the real you laughed at it and you like, oh shit,
Right.
I'm sorry about that. I didn't mean that shit.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
know what I'm saying?
Right.
Involuntary. So maybe that could have been the case.
That could have
Right.
been.
A strong observation based on these facts. He probably could have been at the moment at different time periods. That whatever he was feeling, he could be smiling to disguise, like what you said, Jay. His sad or his fear whatsoever, and then he could be making up another story to cover up whatever, so that you know people would be less likely to suspect that he's instigating something else. So he's just covering up one lie after another before they can finally get to the source.
Correct. Like I said, and that's what I said. I believe that I'm well, not believe. It's not believe. I'm just giving this out for you guys.
It's leading up to.
Right. I'm just giving it for you guys in two areas here. One, it sounds like bullshit, but then what if it's not? What if he said all those lies in the beginning just to protect his family from the cult that he was actually with?
That
You
that
know.
probably could have been the case.
That-
you know
yeah.
what I'm saying?
Could have
Probably
been.
could have been
That
the case.
that is a definite ongoing theory. It could very
Yeah.
well be.
Well, they got this new Netflix documentary about it.
Okay.
And it's all about that where they're trying to connect this guy, the son of Sam, and the Manson killings.
Oh yes.
Like they were
Wow.
all part of the same big international cult.
right.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah. So this guy, I forgot his name. You had his name. The reporter. What was
The
his
the
name?
porter name is Murray. Terry
Murray, something
Ah.
like
Mhm.
that.
Terry Murray.
And he was saying this shit is all connected. And even though the son of Sam is in jail, the son of Sam still exists. The cult.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Well, the cult is his name is Terry Murray, and he was very crunk about finding this guy. I saw him on everything, man, from all these different TV shows when I was a kid. He was just always going on about this. Well, the Manson situation, right? It was called the Charles Manson, and it was the family. Okay. Well, in England, there was a group, and it was called the Process.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And then the Process was a cult group and all of these different things, spiritual group. And then they sent out people to America.
Mhm.
And in America, it got really big and it was all over. And it's said, and I don't know how true it is, but the leader of that group ended up meeting and talking with Manson before the Manson killings.
I heard about that. Yeah.
Right. So, and this is how they connected the two dots that the family, the Son of Sam cult, is actually called the Children.
Yeah. The
So,
children.
so it fit the same thing. Now you have to think about how that really works out. So what you're telling me is that the most famous killings of all, Charles Manson, right? Those killings were actually part of the Son of Sam situation too. Basically saying that this was an organization that was spread out over the United States from, from California to New York and on,
Mhm.
and these people were executing people. All right. Now, think about how scary that is. So all around you, if you came up when I came up and you was at the airport, you remember those guys that was bald like David and they had the little sheets on them and they used to do that stuff and they ask you about your religion and shit. If y'all guys remember that, just imagine those guys just pulling out a gun and shooting you. You know what I mean? That's what was going on. These hippies were basically sent out to kill
Okay, so what about these guys, these brothers, John and Michael Carr,
John and Michael Carr.
that he fingered? He was saying that they were big parts of the cult that he was involved in, and their dad, John and Michael Carr,
Is Sam.
was actually named Sam Carr.
Right. Okay. So, see, guys, we're almost at the break point, but I'm glad he brought that up. Let me
Yeah.
tell you. So you want to know where the name come from, and you hear the letters. So now you go back and do what I said. Read that letter again properly. And when it used the word to, it doesn't use, for someone with no education, they would have just put the word T-O. This man put to, T-O-O, which means someone else. And it just so happened it's only written in two people's, way. And it just so happened that this neighbor who said the dog, he was getting the stuff, right? The neighbor was Sam Carr. And his two sons, okay, are both Carrs,
Yeah.
are both people of interest,
John and Michael.
John and Michael, right? Carr. And the letter is written, son of Sam.
Yeah.
I'm the son of Sam. He tells you the life in the situation, and he talks about the heart attacks his dad have, which is Sam Carr, who had heart attacks. Now you think about that. You really think about that for a second. Now, and I remember.
So what do you think, Jay? Do you think he's telling the truth about that?
I do.
Okay.
I do.
Because both of these Carr guys, both of them died.
Yeah.
Violently.
Yes. One in a car accident. One left the town and went upstate and got killed.
So they were never like charged with anything.
They were not even on the police radar.
They were on the police radar.
Oh, they
after he
were. I think.
fingered them.
Well,
yeah.
I'm talking about that first.
No,
incident.
no, he wasn't.
Yeah.
There wasn't at all.
Now that's the kicker. So you guys at home, pay attention. There were 3 composites drawn, and each one is different. One matches David. The other 2 matches the 2 brothers. That is odd. Now, here's my theory on it. I believe, yes, David was part of it. David was there. I believe they used David Gunn because David was an ex-Marine. I mean, in the military.
Yes.
And he had a
Mhm.
gun. He had that gun, and he gave it to them to use on the scene, and they did it. I believe it was all 3 of them, and I believe one of the brothers, which was the Carr brother, John, I think it was, or whatever his name was.
Mm-hmm.
I believe he's the one that wrote the letter.
That's possible. And here's what I think.
Mhm.
I think instead of him giving the gun, I think they did it as a team
Right.
because it took people to watch out.
Uh-huh.
You need to look out.
Mhm.
You need somebody to make sure the coast is clear.
Well, that's what I meant by saying he gave him the gun. It's
Yeah.
like, I give you the gun, but
Okay.
I'm watching
Okay,
for you.
yeah.
Yeah.
So that's what I think.
I think he was
For-
at every last one of them.
For him to get away so many times, somebody probably had to be waiting in the car.
Car or something, yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Which in one of his interviews, they asked him the people he killed. They start naming all the people, and he said no. He did 1 or 2. I
Yeah, I
think.
seen that one. Too.
Right.
Yeah.
So I do believe.
And they was asking him, did he pull the trigger at this? And he was
Yeah,
like, no.
nope.
But he didn't say a name.
Right.
He just said, no, I didn't pull the trigger here. Yes, I pulled the trigger there.
Yeah.
Wow.
So either or, he would have still did life. So I don't know why he would lie.
Yeah.
So that's just kind of funny. But I tell you what, guys, we are going to take a break. So what I want you to do is I want you to tip us. All right, I want you to tip us, man. I mean, we need it.
Oh,
You
yeah.
know, we're
Send
sitting
that-
here. Yeah, we're sitting here with damn lights on and shit.
Oh, yeah.
So send it, to us at $ DSB Media
On
on
Cash
Cash App. Okay, and let us know what you think about a story. If you have a story that you want us to do, or if you want to be on the show, or if you want to be a sponsor of the show, you can email us at.
UrbanParanormal13@gmail.com.
Okay, and while you're trying to, do all that shit for us right now, we'll be back right after this.
Hey.
Hey.
Hello, my name is Robert Richard, and I'm the host of an exciting new show called What's That Net Worth, where you and the contestants guess the cash flow of the most popular celebrities around today for cash and prizes. I want you to go to Ego Network TV on YouTube to watch the show. Please, please, please like, subscribe, and also follow us on Instagram at ego_network_TV. I'll see you there.
And we're back. Okay. So we're back to talking about the Son of Sam, David Berkowitz, right?
The 44 caliber killer.
44 caliber killer? Yeah, I haven't heard that in a long
He
time.
had another name, Johnny Wheats, Johnny Cereal, some shit.
I think it was John Assyria.
Something.
John Assyria.
Johnny Silver.
No, I don't think that. It was
I don't know that one.
like Johnny Cornflakes or some shit, like some weird ass name.
Cornflakes?
Yeah, I thought Jay would love that name.
Nah, I don't, I don't remember that.
Yeah.
And then the 44 killer, I forgot all about that name. But you know, here's the thing, guys. I just remembered. Okay, so the problem, another problem with the investigation was everybody was like wanting to be the first person to break this story. Everybody wanted to show the world that they had communication. They knew who this guy was, and what great thing would it be for a serial killer to contact you and you're a reporter? Well, that's actually what happened with what's his name? Breslin. Say it again.
Jimmy Breslin.
Jimmy Breslin. So basically, the Son of Sam sent him a letter. And Jimmy Breslin did not give it to the police. Oh Lord, no! You know how the police found out?
How's that?
When the paper was released, when the paper was released for the public, you know, that's when the police found out. Like, goddamn, this damn boy been contacted by he didn't tell us nothing. So, and if you really pay attention to all of the words and different things, you know, you could see that he's saying something. But the funniest part to me about it is that when that paper was printed, that letter, you know, if you take a look at other letters that was written,
Mm-hmm.
they don't really match.
Well, speaking of letters,
Oh, go ahead.
let me get into this one.
Uh-huh.
Go
I
ahead.
found that name I was trying to come up with a second ago.
Mhm.
So this is one of the Taunton letters that he sent that Jay is talking about. It says, this is from the Son of Sam.
Hello
Not-
from the gutters.
Not knowing what the future holds, I shall say farewell, and I will see you at the next job. Or should I say, you will see my handiwork. Whoa. At the next job, remember me, Miss Loria. Thank you.
Mhm.
In their blood and from the gutter, Sam's creation. Dot 44. Here are some names to help you along. Forward them to the inspector for use by NCIC. So these are the names he called himself. The Duke of Death, the Wicked King Wicker, the 22 Disciples of Hell, John Wheaties, rapist and suffocator of young girls. P.S. JB, please inform all the detectives working the slayings to remain.
I think.
To
Well,
remain. That's
Yeah,
where it
it cuts off on Daily News,
I mean,
New York. News.
so that's what I'm saying. So now Trent is watching it on the screen, guys. You don't see that at home, but he's actually watching this on the screen. And my whole argument is that there are multiple people, because this letter that Trent written, that Trent just read to you, is written well. Is well. There's no misspellings. There's nothing. It is written well. Where in the first letter is written like a 2-year-old. Okay, so there has to be something there. You don't write like a 2-year-old. Even in disguising, the letter is written in a different dialect. One, and is written very different, as in the letter. You know, I'm not that guy who identifies letters, but I can clearly see that that is written different.
Can I use my
the
forensic?
first one.
Well, this
skill set
letter
a
looks
little?
like it took a little time. He had time to sit down and write this letter.
Well,
Okay.
based
The
on
other one may have been written in a rush.
That was a long rush.
Yeah, I mean, because sometimes, you know, I know how to spell. You know, I know how to write.
Do
Right.
you?
Yeah, yes, I do.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
all right.
But what I'm saying is
Mhm.
that sometimes, like when I'm doing my research, like names and shit, I write them how they sound.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
Even though I know how to spell this,
I've seen you do that.
I
yeah.
will write them how they sound,
Right.
so I won't have no
Problems.
problems in reading them doing the podcast.
Well,
So
Okay.
maybe it could be something like that.
It could be.
You know
could
what
be
I'm
right.
saying?
You could be right.
there is a possible theory. The reason why he was writing differently is so that he could confuse the police to think that the writer of the letter was a different person. So it could,
Maybe.
slow down the police tracking him. But
Or like-
then again,
or-
this is just a theory.
Or like Jay says, multiple people.
Multiple people.
But we were led to believe that okay, he didn't had any identity association disorder. The only clue that we have in his mental case is schizophrenia.
Yeah.
Well, I don't even see a clue of that, to be honest.
Yeah,
But
Yeah, because in his interview, like Jay said, he seemed intelligent. You know, he
Yes.
didn't seem above average to me, but he
Yeah.
seemed like an intelligent, regular
Mhm.
person. You know what I'm saying?
yeah.
So,
I mean,
who knew right from wrong?
Yeah.
intelligent people can be schizophrenic too.
Oh,
Yeah.
of course.
Yeah.
Of
So
course.
that's one thing that will support his schizophrenic personality.
yeah.
Right.
I'm just saying, I didn't see that in his personality when he was talking.
Right. I didn't see it either. I mean,
So he was just well spoken and
yeah,
everything.
he was a regular
Yes.
person.
He was just a regular
a
guy
person,
to me.
a regular person, just being able to speak clearly and understanding,
Mhm.
and had a grip of of understanding of what the hell was going on. This is not someone that's mental,
Right.
That believes that King Arthur is real. I'm just fucking with you.
Right.
I'm just saying. I'm just saying. This
Good one, Jay.
yeah. This is
King Arthur was based on. off
Don't
of
know.
one-
Hey, hey,
no,
hey,
no,
hey,
no, stop
fuck
all that.
King Arthur.
No,
Come
no.
on, bro.
I'm just saying that this guy was well together. Okay. Now, could that be because he had so much time in jail to get it together?
Who
Maybe
knows?
he's on medication now. I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm just saying that when you take a look at the interviews and you put them side by side with the letters that was written, you will see a complete change.
Yeah.
Now, with that being said, with the two Carr brothers, okay, he wrote a letter. Well, he didn't. He didn't.
He was a
even-
letter writing
well,
motherfucker.
he actually didn't write this letter. He typed it.
yeah,
And
same
he,
shit.
yeah, he typed it to
Yeah.
Terry Moore. He was already in prison,
Mhm.
and he said it don't matter. He said, "Look, because the Carr brother, the Carrs are dead. No one is going to believe you, no matter what you do." That's what he told the man,
Yeah.
right? And
That's true.
which was very true. Yeah. Because the two brothers are dead. The
And did you know, Jay? I didn't mean to cut you
Oh,
off,
no.
but besides the Carr brothers,
Mhm.
there were 19 other people that were connected to Berkowitz, like accused of being in this cult or whatever,
Right.
friends and shit
Oh wow.
that died
Oh no.
since Berkowitz has been caught, and they all died from unnatural causes,
Oh
Wow.
either murder,
Mhm.
suicide, accidents,
Mhm.
all kind of shit. And the interviewer, in 2017 asked David about how he felt about this, and he was like, "Hey, we were all in league with the devil, and shit. That shows you what the devil can do."
Price to pay.
Wow. And see that's so you guys at home. So I was building up a situation here to say maybe that there was more than one. Maybe it is very true. Maybe David did not lie. I mean, he lied, right, to protect his family, but the actual truth was he was in a cult. He really did do it with a couple of people. He really was commanded to do this by a group,
Yeah,
and I believe a part of initiation, because he makes a statement that they had to give him. I mean, he had to give them pictures of his family.
yeah,
Well, if I've joined a gang, I don't have to give you a picture of my family. That's it. I got to get jumped in, or how they say that whole bullshit about you had to go and
do a crime.
do a crime of some sort. So what better way to jump you in a gang, a cult, than to actually
murder.
commit murder. Yeah.
Well,
Right.
I think the motherfuckers, if it was a cult, I think the motherfuckers scattered like roaches with the lights on. And
Yeah.
David
Mhm.
Berkowitz getting caught was the lights getting cut on.
Mhm.
Right.
You know what I'm
Right.
saying?
And he took the fall for all of
yeah,
it.
and the motherfuckers are like, hey, we got to disband, hide, whatever the fuck we got to do.
Right.
Exactly.
And he
Yeah.
was terrified, and he would not say a name. And the moment that they found out that he was talking, because it started being on television,
Yeah.
he ends up getting his throat slashed.
I was just about to ask you about that.
Yeah.
Wow.
He you know, they're talking to him through letter, through typing, but once it became public that the man was actually talking, David, his throat ended up getting slashed. I don't know what was the whole, but it did get slashed, and he refused after that to talk to anybody.
Yeah.
All right, that tells me the man is afraid.
Until 2017.
Right? Yeah, yeah. Probably the person who stabbed his or cut his neck is probably dead now. He's
I
like,
know,
you know,
right?
he knew who it was. You know,
Yeah.
now let's talk about it.
Mm-hmm.
You know, or his family is safe now. But I just think that it's pretty clear. You know what? I didn't see it yet, but
What's
I'm
that?
going to watch it. The Netflix presentation, but
okay.
I read it before the show, and
You pretty much got all the information. It's just old boys. It's really the
Maury Terry.
Yeah, it's really his story.
Well, the thing is, guys, at home, I would like y'all to watch it. Just watch it because it gives you possibilities.
Yeah.
A lot of them that people are ignoring. The cops, you know, in this world that we live in, sometime if you are, let's just say, an elected official, right, and these guys are committing all of these kick-in burglaries, right, you're gonna tell the person up under you, I want this handled right now. I'm up for re-election. So the very first person that they capture, they put all of these burglaries on top of, and say we got him, and that makes the voters feel safer that you're
Yeah.
doing your job, and therefore
You
they
done
vote
your job. You got
right.
the killer off the street.
Right,
Yeah.
and that's what I think in his situation. I think is a strong possibility, right, with the cops and the different things. I do think it's a strong possibility that that's what was taking place.
Yeah.
You know, you just had the Manson situation. You just had so much things that were. I just gave y'all the good side of the things that were kind of going on, but there was a lot, man, from Manson and on. So much.
And they
stuff.
tried to connect in this documentary. They connected Manson and
Mhm.
Berkowitz.
Right.
According
They
to
were-
the 2017 interview about his mental state, this is what Oxygen.com is reporting. The killings, including a schizophrenia, attention deficit disorder, and hallucinations. He said that he was a converted Christian in communication with a demon called Samhain, a demon entity. He said
Wow.
that things were getting very real. The shootings were a break from reality he had. I thought I was doing something to appease the devil. I am sorry for it.
And
Wow.
that's what I wanted to get into.
Okay.
That he's a Christian now.
I highly doubt it, but let's go deeper.
Yeah.
Well, I mean,
Why do you
why
doubt
you
it?
doubt it? Yeah. I mean, if the man says he's a Christian, why can't he be a Christian now?
Well, okay. Please look at me as a skeptic for
Okay.
once. Okay. Now, if he he can say he's the word out of a Christian, but if he's not a practicing Christian, then all it is just a name and a title.
Well,
That
he's
being
saying
said-
he's doing work in the
In
jail
jail as a Christian.
a-
to
as a
save
Christian.
others after one of his inmate buddies reached out for him to be saved and introduced him to Christ.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Okay.
Of
Now
course.
he's supposed to be doing all this holy work in jail
Yeah.
Okay.
after
I-
you done murked a bunch of
I-
motherfuckers.
I
Is that
will-
possible?
I think
It is
I think
possible.
so too.
It is possible,
I know.
but the thing is that I haven't seen any reports that he has been doing some progression to build up for it. People can ingenuinely say, "Okay, I am sorry," but then I still have my intentions whatsoever due to the horrible crimes he did. Now, must this man be forgiven? Of course, but he still has to pay the consequences due to the horrible crimes that he has done injustice to these poor souls.
Mhm.
Wow.
Well, I hear you, David. I was just thinking of trying to figure out all you're saying. But here's the thing about that. There is a record that's stating that he's worked toward being a Christian. All right.
Okay.
There's a father, there's a priest that he's worked with. There's all of
Okay.
these different things.
Okay.
And he's not asking to be let out of jail. Okay.
Mhm.
Now that's the thing. He's not asking to be let out of jail. So of course he knows he's going to pay for his crimes. Fine.
Right.
Okay. But at the same time, Trent says, can that be possible? At the same time, there's other killers that come in or people that come in that will have the second chance to get back out on the street. So
Right.
if he's in jail preaching the good Lord, if you believe in that sort of thing, he's preaching the good Lord to change that person. So when they get out of jail, they don't do this crime. I think that's a positive move. I think
So do you think he's
It
sincere?
can be a positive.
I think he
move.
is.
Now,
No
just to
shit.
turn,
Yeah.
just to turn things.
You really think he's sincere?
I think he's sincere because
Okay.
not being sincere don't mean he's going to get any free time.
Well-
He's in there forever,
He's just making a change in his life.
okay.
Jamie, you've
okay.
been to jail.
Okay.
right?
How many dudes you see in there come turn Muslim, and as soon as they get out, they right back on the bullshit? You know?
But I
You
seen
know what
that
I'm
too.
saying?
But he never getting out, so he gonna stay on that bullshit.
Yeah, okay.
Okay. So
Probably because he know that.
So
you know?
based on the documents and based on the evidence that you have seen,
Mhm.
this now proves that yes, he is sincere as a Christian. You know what? I believe you.
Well, it's
Well,
actually
well,
it's not
it-
documents. It's an actual a video you can pull up
A video.
where he's
This is good.
being interviewed and he's telling all of this shit.
Well,
You know what?
there's
This is believable.
there's a father and a
Mhm.
priest that backs him that's been working with him all that
Yeah.
time. Yeah, it's a lot. But here,
All right.
it doesn't even matter to me if he believes it. Okay, it doesn't even matter if he's real or fake. The thing is, through a lot of fakeness, all right. You think about Pat. Well, I want to say Robertson. That's not his name. But anyway, like 700 Club and all these
Right.
different preachers that was found to be fake. Even though they were fake, they
Right.
helped a lot of people. Like
Okay.
Helped a lot of people come out the pocket.
I mean, yeah, they
Okay,
might have did they
okay.
might have did that too. But you know what I'm saying? Even so, you can still somebody watched him on TV and thought to themselves, "God, you're right," and changed their life,
Yeah.
even though that person is fake.
Well, Berkowitz is 67 years old today.
Uh-huh.
He's at the Shawangunk Correctional Facility
In the Hudson Valley.
in the Hudson Valley, and he said, asked about the murders, he said he declined to talk about it, and he said, because the Lord has taken all my sins and thrown them into the depths of the sea, as the scriptures say. Amen.
Wow.
Never be reminded anymore.
Yeah.
Well, you know what? I understand it, and I'm gonna tell you why this is very, very, very dangerous for people. Religion has a way of making you a particular sheep. So when you think about, the Manson killings, the family, these Sam, these are all so-called spiritual, believing people that believe that their thing was right. You could tell them to do anything for that belief, and they would do it, and that makes people very, very, very dangerous. Their common sense don't overlook the fact of the spiritual thing. It doesn't. Common sense has to play a part in here. Because of it, you wouldn't have all those thousands of people taking the juice, dying. You wouldn't have Manson people going to kill, and now you have David Berkowitz. So he was bad already as a ritual situation, but now he's being a Christian.
Yeah.
As a Christian situation.
And I
That's
got a little
still
more
David.
info on this dude. So he said instead of being known as the son of Sam, he wants to be known as the Son of Hope. And apparently the Son of Hope wrote a book called Son of Hope, The Prison Journals of David Berkowitz. This was in 2006. And it's featured on his website. Apparently he has a website
Okay.
run by his supporters.
Okay.
And he
Wow.
he contributes to school-based projects for
Mhm.
students in
Psychology.
psychology, criminology, and sociology who want to learn more about the criminal mind and the criminal justice system.
Ah.
Wow.
I
that
honestly gotta
is-
say, got to the damn.
He did.
I would say
Got
he
that
did that.
right.
it's
Wow.
a complete 180 turn. I think he's gonna be saved.
I don't know
Yeah.
about one. He
Well,
probably demon.
look,
He's still on demon time. Can't wait. He probably can't wait to kill another motherfucker. But look at this though.
Demon time, I hold the Christian
prob-
word
he-
in time.
yeah, I
yeah,
think-
whatever.
right.
I think he probably still on demon time, bro.
Right. Go ahead.
Okay, go ahead.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? It's just crazy how, okay, you go to jail now. I'm God. I'm godly, and I don't believe the motherfuckers like that.
Well, you know what, Trent? Here go the one thing you can do. You could walk off in there. You can go visit him at the prison.
I wouldn't want to.
Oh, I'm just saying you could do it, and you can take a 44
Yeah, I know,
and
right?
put that shit on the table and show him
You
that
start
woman.
having
and
flashbacks,
show
right.
that woman over there with that short hair and be like,
Wow.
get it. See what he does.
That's crazy, bro.
Just
But
to
here's
test them
here's
out.
another thing though. Did y'all know that this guy David Berkowitz there's the Son of Sam statue.
No, I did not know
Really?
that.
Yeah, he's the reason why serial killers can't make money off their crimes.
Ah.
So it's
Holy
called
cow.
it's called the Son
Huh.
of Sam statue. Yeah.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
I
So
had
it's
no
like
idea.
a statue, or it's
No,
just
No,
like-
no. It's a like a law.
It's
like
a law. It's a
Yeah,
law
it's a law.
Oh, gotcha,
to where
gotcha.
serial killers can't make money off their crimes.
You know, when she said that, all I saw of myself was David Berkowitz standing
I
up like
know,
this.
like
here.
that. Wow, that's crazy.
But no, it's a law. So
Okay.
yeah.
Mhm.
Well, when you think about it, man, I mean, they had to have that law. I
Yeah.
mean, because I've always wondered that, and I always felt like the money that they make, it should go to the families of the
Yeah,
victims.
yeah. Mhm.
Don't become rich and famous while you in prison and shit.
I'm pretty sure they got ways to sneak around that shit. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I'm sure they do. I'm sure they do. You know, I mean, because people coming in giving you interviews. Yeah, I'll do an interview with you. I know you get. You know what
Just
I'm saying?
give it to my family. you
Yeah,
know?
give it to my family, or just put it on my books.
Right.
You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying? I
yeah,
mean,
yeah.
shit. That's just bottom line. You gotta have to do that.
right.
But you guys at home, you have to think about this. There was a fucking killer stalking the streets of New York in the 70s. I mean,
Had the whole city in a panic.
can that still happen? I mean, in
I think
our
it could.
yeah, in our time, in the 2000s era, we had the sniper going around, sniper from Washington D.C., and we saw in just the 2000s that this can still be held hostage by
Yeah.
a killer.
I mean, that was a little while back though. I think technology has advanced a lot
I don't-
since then, so I think it might be a little bit
Safe.
More
different,
difficult.
little bit different.
Mm,
But people find ways around everything, Jack.
yeah, they do.
You know what I'm
They
saying?
do.
Just I don't want to keep bringing up the jail, but you know how you in jail, you got guys making fucking incredible inventions out of fucking toilet paper
Mhm.
and coffee creamer.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So humans find a way around every fucking thing.
That's my point.
Yeah.
That we've seen it happen, and the world was held hostage by this particular guy. Now, if we trade places with this guy and everything, take the guy and the 44 out, and replace the guy in 44 with COVID.
Wow.
Holy cow.
Oh, that'd be
Now that's the same
Scary.
thing. The whole country is up in arms about this. So it is very, very, very likely that a killer could emerge again
Yeah.
mhm.
doing the same thing and have this country.
They probably operating right now, buddy.
exactly
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
recruiting new ones.
I mean, so anything can happen. I mean, I'm just really afraid for it, and we brought this to you guys just to educate you a little bit on it, to talk about the cult aspect of it, because this cult aspect kind of ties into a few episodes that we did. But this one particular episode that we did was talking about the Texas killing fields.
Oh.
And in this particular episode that we talked about, it was this one little girl that was 14 years old who came home. And that was it. When her family came home, her purse was still there. The door was not kicked in. It was just open, and she was gone. And people gave theories that it was an occult. It was a cult that worked there and did these things and took her. Okay, and she ended up in the killing fields. So my point by bringing that up is that what triggered me is that cults, satanic cults, are still active in America
Oh, yeah.
today.
Oh yeah. I mean,
Got that
because
right.
if you got people that believe in God, you gotta fucking know there's just as many people that believe in the devil.
Mhm.
Correct. And by saying that, we have to understand. So Trent and I, we were sitting here trying to figure out who this particular guy was, and this guy was a rich Hollywood producer, and he had a mansion, and it had 72 rooms and shit. And I want to say his name is Roy Raiden,
Mhm.
and he was a cult in the cult, and it was a very horrible cult. But it turns out that in this particular cult,
They
right,
tried to connect Berkowitz to this guy.
right,
Yeah,
they tried to connect
that
it.
he was a big leader within the cult.
Correct. So this guy gets arrested for something. I don't even know what the fuck it was for.
He was fucking over women. He did something. One lady, actress, she went to one of his cult parties where they were having orgies, and she didn't want to partake.
Oh, that's right.
She didn't want to partake in the orgy, so she called rape.
Yeah,
And they
he
came
did.
and arrested this guy.
Yeah.
They found the cult room. They said it was one room. There was like a big bed, and there was no other reason but for that room but to have orgies.
Right.
It was like proof that he was a cult leader when they got there.
Right.
Oh,
So
wow.
so he went to jail for rape, basically.
Yeah.
And once he was in jail and everything like that, he gets out. Well, guess what? He has been brought out now that this
Yeah.
guy is actually a cult leader. Okay. And so now they got him wanting to talk to him about this occult situation. And before he can really spit out what was what,
Ends up dead.
he disappeared.
Yeah.
He ended up dead. You know? And that shit is fucking horrible.
Yeah.
You know?
And he was potentially a big Hollywood producer, but he was able to secure funding for the movie The Cotton Club.
Correct.
Mhm.
He was a producer on that movie. And
Right,
that's
he was the
Francis Ford Coppola, I think, was it?
Yeah, Francis Ford Coppola.
Yeah, and it was some type of dispute or something over money.
Right.
And they
Right.
tried to say that's
Because it like $33 million they were
Yeah.
trying to say. And remind you people, at 1970 something, that shit was a lot. of
yeah,
money.
shit, that's a lot of money right
Well,
now.
well, actually, it was actually
for
19
me.
it was actually 1983,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Like 1983. But yeah,
Yeah.
that was a lot of money. You have to know that the world was so when David was doing what he was doing, and he said that he wrote the letter and said, "I'll be back," right? You have to understand that that's when it was dubbed right then. Okay, it was dubbed the Summer of Sam. And the reason why it was dubbed the Summer of Sam, because all of the night stores, discos, and different things, because of the anniversary and that summer, they closed up because they didn't want no one murdered.
Yeah.
And that's when it became the Summer of Sam.
Spike Lee had a movie about it
Oh,
called The Summer of Sam,
Yeah. Yeah.
starring John Leguizamo.
Yeah, I remember him in that. I think I watched that, but I didn't
Yeah.
watch it. But yeah, you know, so you have to really think about those things, guys. It's frightening to know that you can be sitting next to a serial killer to my left,
Or to my right.
or to my right could be a spree
Right.
killer. You know, and you know,
possibilities.
yes,
Absolutely.
anyone can be these things, you know, and we just got to hope and pray, you know, every day. You just hope and pray for the goodness comes out of everybody, that when you wake up in the morning, you choose good.
Well, I think the majority of people are good,
Mm.
but there exists that 0.1%
Right.
of motherfuckers that are born
Bad.
fucked
Evil.
up or made fucked up.
Or created
Yeah,
like a recipe.
Yeah.
that's a good point.
Mhm.
Recipe
Yeah,
for a
recipe.
fucking demon,
Yep.
Right.
for real.
You know, so
That's a good podcast topic. What is
Yeah.
the
Recipe
recipe
of a serial
for
killer.
a demon?
Yeah.
Recipe
Wow.
for a demon, recipe for a
Serial killer.
All right, new
Well-
ideas.
well,
Sounds
yeah, let me
fancy.
give y'all this one here because I think I need to hear this one.
Let's hear it.
Arlice Perry, right? And they had her up under ritual killings. She was 19 years old, and she was a bride only 2 months. And she was at Stanford University, and she was murdered in October of 13th, 1974. And this was very important to David because David actually had this book and he wrote that over top and he sent it to this guy who was researching everything. Not sure. I think Terry Murray. That's who it was. That's who he was. So when they found her body inside of the church, okay.
Oh yeah, I heard about that one.
Yeah, her body was underneath a pew.
Oh yeah, that was fucked.
Right. She was naked from the waist down with her legs spread apart.
Did she have a candle?
Yeah. There were two large altar candles that were about 5 feet in length. One of them was inserted in her vagina. The other one was rammed up through her brows and through her bra and around her neck. There was a shaft a 5-inch ice pick shaft jammed into her skull.
And this wasn't committed by the Son of Sam. This was committed by
The
the organization.
The organization.
Yeah, that's fucked, man.
What was that? What was the group or the individual killer's motive to do such inhumane atrocities to this woman?
Well,
I have no idea what the
I-
motivation.
I mean, if we don't,
probably
I guess,
Satanism.
Well,
I mean, why else
All right, we'll
would
just
you?
say Satanism.
Probably Satanism.
okay, so this woman was a super Christian. Okay,
Right.
so you know how the Christian people would go to different places and try to convert you?
Mhm.
Well, she discovered this particular cult. And this particular cult, she went there to try to convert them over and over, you know?
And then I heard she was like locked in.
Yes. So she tried to convert them over and over and over. And she left. She went to school. Well, this cult went and tracked her down and decided she was going to be
That's fucked.
of choice.
That's
So
right.
while she was at school and she went into the church, she was into the church a little too long and she was locked in. Now, get this. Now, when she's locked in in that church, she was locked in the church with the killer.
Yeah, that's fucked up.
The next morning, after all of what I told you, right, her body was found by the security guard. Now, the security guard, right, fingerprints didn't match anything. So they said, well, he's not the killer, and so they saw that the person had did all this to her and broke out through a window. Many years later, 2017, I think it is.
Mhm.
I think 2017.
Yes.
Because of DNA evidence, the security guard that found her, who they said his fingerprints didn't match, his DNA actually matched.
Whoa.
And he was 72 years old or 73, something like that. And the police went to go pick his ass up. And guess what he did?
What he did.
Killed herself.
He killed himself. He
Oh,
blew-
wow.
I
blew his
figured
brains out.
Wow.
Right. And they got it all on camera, on their body cameras and everything.
That's crazy.
Oh my
Yeah.
goodness.
You know,
Effed up.
Right. So
Got
there you
that
go.
right.
It's a sick ass rabbit hole. This Satanism and
Mhm.
so if y'all learn anything from this show is not playing around with incantations,
Right.
rituals.
Mhm.
No deals with the devil. For
I know
your
it might.
sake.
I know it might. Mainstream is trying to make this type of shit cool.
Mhm.
It's
Yeah.
not cool at all.
It's not. Stay away from it.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So be careful what you play with.
Right.
Mhm.
And I brought the guy Raiden up for a reason, as well as artists up for a reason. This man is a multi-millionaire, and they were able to get to him.
He did.
Yeah, this girl leaves her
did.
state to go to another school,
Yeah.
and they were able to go and get her. And the person who actually did it was the security at the school. So this is how high these cult things go up.
Yeah.
So when you hear about Bohemian Grove or whatever, and these things, you guys kind of believe it. And if you know anyone in that area, in that type of field, probably it's best to walk the other way.
Back up.
Yeah.
And
So,
don't go back.
right. So I want to say, my name is JH.
And I'm your moderator, Trent A. Johnson.
Anchorman Dave R. signing off.
Amazon Jamencia.
And we hope you guys have learned something today about David
Berkowitz.
Berkowitz.
He said Berwitzky.
Yeah.
Berkowitz.
The son of Sam, and until next time, man, we love you guys. We out.
Hey.
Peace.
Hey.
Hello, my name is Robert Richard, and I'm the host of an exciting new show called What's That Network, where you and the contestants guess the cash flow of the most popular celebrities around today for cash and prizes. I want you to go to Ego Network TV on YouTube to watch the show. Please, please, please like, subscribe, and also follow us on Instagram at ego_network_TV. I'll see you there.
What's that?